Mukazi wanugameka.
Bongedde mu bitano post.
Chikole fole, sakona haso no stress. Wega naitote tulioke, wanga tuli ku flexipe.
Don't hustle to pay the bills. Send or receive money. Chikole for less. Neflexi pay. Hold it.
Chikole for less with FlexiPay. Dial *291# to transact or download the FlexiPay app to get started. Stanbic Bank. It can be. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, up to 10 million shillings.
Marcus, I don't care what you say. NSSF, you know they should change the name of NSSF.
To what?
National Social Scandal Fund.
It's still an SSF.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. They changed the name. They changed what the NSSF stands for.
Oh.
Too many scandals right now. Too many scandals.
But when has NSSF been scandal free?
You know.
Actually, this is the longest it has been without anything coming up until now.
Really?
Yeah. From the time the current MD took over,
Yeah.
which is what? 10 years? 8 years?
Richard Birogaba.
Yeah. I think it's been the longest scandal free session. And you see, it has been working well.
You know, you can work well, but when you don't work well and shit hits the fan. Remember at first they even refused to give us our money when we reached 40,
It was an
45.
amendment.
You remember?
It was an amendment.
Yeah, it was necessary because of COVID. You remember? Guys were saying people are 45 plus.
But they were saying that if someone is critical, critically ill, that you could claim your benefits. But someone who's critically ill is in the ICU. How are they expecting someone who's critically ill and infectious to walk into that building?
But aren't you lucky they didn't give people their money in COVID? You know, guys would have no money in NSSF, huh? And they would still be crying that they have no dams. But now you're crying that you have no money, but at least your money in NSSF, nobody touched it. It's still intact. You would have used that money, trust me, as you know Ugandans, how we operate, and very few would have used it to start a business making them more money. Very few.
Okay.
Others will have
eaten it. Speaking of
it was
eating.
a difficult time.
Yes, it was.
We had to be happy. We didn't know if we would make it.
And those of you who did, well done. Those of us who didn't, unfortunately, may they rest in peace. And there were quite a number of them. Having said that, the current state of NSSF, National Social Security Fund, is in a quagmire. Do you know what quagmire means?
Say it right. You said it right the first time, and the second time you quagmire. No,
It's quagmire.
it's quagmire.
Quagmire. Quagmire.
And first spirit.
Quaggy. Maya.
You've just started the beer.
Okay. This is my thing with the NSSF. You're doing a fantastic job. I get it. You're there to save money and to invest people's money.
And to grow it.
And to grow the money. That's been happening. But right now, we're finding out that you're using this money that you have given you to fund government projects.
Is it coming back though?
Is it coming back? That is the big question. Is our taxes supposed to do that? Not NSSF money.
Well, it depends. If they are funding at an interest,
which government was going to borrow anyway? Which government was going to borrow anyway? So why borrow from someone outside when you have a fund here that you can pay back
with interest?
Guys,
and grow the money.
Yes.
Guys,
so government is working for you twice.
Listen, Richard Birogaba, who by the way is a friend of mine. Richard. He's my guy.
It's the, what do you think? Fattening him for the kill.
No, not like that.
So you're my guy. But
I like him. Honestly, I like him. So you have the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amon.
I think that's his boss.
Yes.
That's the authority minister.
Exactly. So she was asking for dimes. I'm going to read this out so you guys understand.
Was she asking for dimes or for accountability?
She was asking for dimes.
Okay.
For herself. As Betty.
Not as Betty.
Actually, when you say she was asking for them, that's what it means.
She was asking,
qualify your statement, sir.
The board, she asked the board, to rework the budget and pay special attention to strengthening compliance with labor laws, sensitization and engagement of employers and workers to scale up the expansion of social security and engagements of parliamentarians and other strategic stakeholders. So let people understand what this is all about. To get more members and all of that. But you know how much I was asking for? 6 billion.
For that process.
For that process. So Richard Biarugaba, my guy, told her, okay, he didn't.
No.
He didn't.
He said no.
He said no.
He's a very polite man. He would never.
He would never do those things.
Never do those things.
You've ever seen him? He's your friend. You've ever seen him do those things?
No, I've never seen
Okay,
him. He's too cool for school. Okay. Then, apparently, among his boss, she was not yet done. She also blocked 400 billion that had been earmarked for strategic land purchases in the budget. The minister asked for it to be parked in fixed income investments, awaiting submission of due diligence report. This is according to a report that came out. So she was asking for 6 billion plus another.
No, she blocked the 400, according to what you've said.
Yes, she blocked.
She blocked the 400, which was going to include land purchases.
Thank you.
First do due diligence. In the meantime, pack it in bonds.
Yes.
But no, nothing wrong with that part.
No, but that's 6 billion. I'm very glad Richard said no. But the
So
problem,
you think that's what caused the initial problems?
don't forget, Richard Biarugaba has hit retirement age
Yes.
to be boss of NSSF. This game is all about politics. So you refuse to give me the 6 billion shillings. We're not going to do what?
Renew your contract.
Renew your contract.
Because anyway, you have hit the age.
you hit the age.
Okay.
If she,
So it's
if,
just petty. Petty.
yeah, I think so.
Call it what it is. Had he given the money, they probably wouldn't have been looking at his age.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but first of all, did Richard want to come back? Nobody has asked.
I think he did. I think he did.
And secondly, if it is actually by law that he should have retired, then it wouldn't matter whether he wanted to come back or not. Either way, they needed to get someone else.
Yes.
Either way. Okay? So I guess in Richard's mind, he was probably like, look, this is not going to be, and I'm not saying this with any authority, I've not spoken to Richard myself. But if it was me and I've reached retirement age, I'm going anyway. This is not how I want to go out.
All right.
You want to go out on better terms.
Yes, on better terms. In other words,
My
I'm not
time
going to
has
give you this
reached.
6 billion because I don't agree with, you don't need 6 billion to do what you've told me you're going to do. Do I think you need to do it? Absolutely. We need to sensitize more Ugandans to put money in the fund. Truth. That's who, we have the lowest saving culture in the region. It's
Yes.
a fact.
And NSSF has changed that.
And NSF has tried to change that.
Well, they made it mandatory. They didn't make it optional
Yes.
for it to change.
Yeah, but,
Whether
only,
you like it
but
or
only the ones who are in formal employment. The ones in informal, who is 70% of our country, don't put money in the fund. But what he did more than anybody else could have done is the few people who have put money in the fund, he has almost tripled that money in the time he was there.
Before you go and talk about how much money has tripled, how much the money is, let me read for you something. His contract expired December 1st, 2022.
Okay.
He and his deputy, Patrick Ayota, who is also my friend, yo, Pato, what up, had reached the retirement age of 60, but were eligible for reappointment. They were eligible for it.
Based on what?
Generally. Now,
guess
among you, the minister, reappointed Ayota, who is age 63, to a 5-year contract as deputy managing director and acting managing director, but deferred the reappointment of Richard Biarugaba, despite a recommendation from the board. She said, Ayota, for you it's okay. For you, Biarugaba, no.
So, long story short, sir, this is what Anne said earlier. It's politics. But is your money safe? It is. But these are just internal politics that will go.
How much is the money grown
The
back?
money is still okay.
Can't remember the numbers, but let me just dig them up. real quick.
Where does the NSSF put their money? When you are forced to give your money, your percentage,
Where
your boss,
does it go?
where does it go? What's the best investment? What do they do with it?
Allow me to educate
Very,
you.
very many things, but let him get the
Educate
actual
you.
details.
9.9 trillion Uganda shillings is held in treasury bonds. This is as of 2020 report. 9.9, basically 10T, are held in treasury bonds. Government, 7.6 matures annually, every year. The rest, I think, is long term. 6 of them are with government. And that means 75% of the entire portfolio is in treasury bonds.
75% is in treasury bonds.
Treasury bonds.
Where there's always a good return.
Yeah.
It's
Always
the
guaranteed, it's the safest. And it's long term. Bank of Uganda had 27.7 trillion in domestic debt stock. Kati abogedde bingi.
So the bank is holding the money of NSSF.
That is 36% of all domestic debt.
Okay, yes.
Of our domestic debt. 26B of the pensioners' money was held in cash, mostly at banks, with 9.6 billion held at Stanchart in Tanzania, 6.2 billion held in Stanbic Uganda, and 5.8 held in Stanchart Uganda.
So the banks are holding up. Meanwhile, NSSF does better than banks. You know that?
I would not be shocked.
They do better than banks.
I
Believable.
would not be shocked.
Very many things do better than banks. Unit trusts do better than banks. Not fixed deposit. What do I want to say? Life insurance policies do better than banks. There's very little that doesn't do. SACCOs do better than banks. At this point, even a mattress would do better than a bank. There's no monthly charges on a mattress.
205 billion of pensioners' money was held as deposits in commercial banks.
Okay, how much? 205
billion. So commercial banks always borrow. Sometimes it's from Bank of Uganda, sometimes from other banks.
Right.
And
Some
sometimes
short-term
from
things.
NSSF.
So 205 of it they borrow from where? NSSF. And they pay with interest.
Right. So overall,
The man
what
is doing well.
Richard Byorogaba has been able to do,
He has worked.
does he deserve to come back?
Absolutely.
If
Because
he
now-
wants to come back, we're forgetting that. Does he want to come back?
After all of this, me personally, I would not come back. I'd be like, you guys, I've done my job. I'm trying to protect people's money. And then you're slandering me saying that there's been mismanagement and corruption on my part. What happened to the former NSSF chap? What's his name? Jamo.
Was the immediate former was Jama?
Was he the one who was arrested? And anybody who touches NSSF as the chairman, it's like a poison chalice. Do you know what I mean? It's like
It's a
hot potato.
But
It's
you're not
political.
going to go out nicely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
sad.
I think Richard has covered his bases. The only thing that they can do to him is not reappoint him, but they can't arrest him. They can't do anything to him.
How about the conversation about the second most powerful man in the Republic of Uganda? I gave you a hint, man.
Please don't answer that question.
Who's the second most powerful man in Uganda?
I was going to say the
He wears
president.
sunglasses.
I was going to say the president is the second most powerful man in the country.
The president is the most. Who's the first?
His brother.
His brother. Say it with your chest.
Salim Sir.
Do you have a cold?
Yeah, it's the AC. The AC.
I can't hear what you're saying. Say what you're saying. We can't hear.
I'm sorry.
He's the most powerful man.
I think
Who
so.
was? She said. Me, I've not heard.
He said.
Okay, I don't know who's more powerful of the two. The president of the Republic of Uganda or his brother. All we know is what we're told.
Wow, that's deep.
No, his brother has an office like other people.
But does the office of the Operation Wealth Creation?
You can say that. Oh, you can say that. That's where there's the brother he works.
Yeah, he works
yes.
operate. That they have a lot of clout.
Who says?
But
Is it clout or power?
is that the same difference? Power and clout.
Clout is more perception.
Aha! Yebali nnyo.
Power is more power.
Kati ono ali ku perception because that's the problem with Uganda.
Who looks like they are more powerful?
Okay, all right. So
clout is the word we are using.
So how this is going to end? Who is going to be fired? Who is going to be kept? Is our money being eaten by Operation Wealth Creation? Is it being eaten by other individuals within government?
Where did you get that the money is being eaten by Operation Wealth Creation? But I'm over social media rubbish.
I'm honestly not worried about my money. I think like it's doing good, but then also I have like what? How old am I now?
Let me touch you.
I have a very long time until I have to be concerned.
I can touch your elbow and find out how old you are.
How old am I?
I just want to touch your elbow.
I know. I'm saying you enjoy this a bit too much.
There's no answer soon. Anyway, we wish him.
And let's see how it ends.
I'm not worried for Richard. I think he's done a good job. Like you said, like your friend is also my friend. I haven't talked to him because I figured by they're blowing up his phone, so I've not bothered reaching out to him. But I know, I've been following Richard's career. He's a clean man.
The clean chap.
Yeah, and maybe that's the problem for people who want to make him be unclean, to use money that's not supposed to be used for or overexpend. And maybe that's where the problems will be. Because in these things, you can imagine that kind of money. The man is controlling about 10 trillion shillings. Of course, there are going to be people looking for you.
Do you know even the president wanted
You said you have his
Richard
number.
Berugaba to stay?
You have his number. That's put in your face.
You call him for what?
Just ask him.
What is his number?
She wants
I want
his
his
number.
number.
Richard! Richard!
I think it's there.
How many times have I said your name?
07.
Yeah, but social media has blown this thing up. A lot has been happening on social media, by the way.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, it's even accounts have been hacked. Did you see my tweet?
Yes. You're such a problematic person.
No, it was an honest question. Mama, there's a journalist, and he's a friend of mine, Kazibwe. Kazibwe's account, Bashir, his account was hacked, or so he says.
The journalist.
He did a video saying my account was hacked.
But he said in 2022. The video said 2022. Yes. He said 17th of January 2022.
But these tweets came out 5 days ago or 7 days ago. And the tweets went on to talk about how Bobby Wine is an NRM mall. They are the ones who paid for his Harvard degree. He's been funded by because he failed his MDD course. Barely passed it. There was no way he was going to get a pass.
Music, dance, drama.
To go to Harvard for his course. Some phone calls were made. Anyway, there was a whole thing about how this guy is working for NRM.
Right.
The guy released and said, guys, that's not me. My account was hacked. So, which is I had a question. You're in common to as a person.
As a person.
What about if I wake up in the morning and I also do video? Guys, anything coming out, my account has been hacked. Don't take seriously. I leave that.
Kick off.
By the way, Gaetano Kagwa is gay. He has been sleeping with a guy called Chirunda. They even want to adopt a child. Everything you see him, even me, I call him. Marcus, what's going on? It's an honest question. At what point do we know the things my account is hacked? Like, okay, Muhozi can wake up one morning and say my account was hacked. All those things you're reading were not me. You know what I mean?
This is true.
How do we know where do we draw the line?
Because
okay, no, forget about Muhozi. I used the wrong example.
I was about to say.
I'm saying, but my point is, you can wake up tomorrow, especially if you're a journalist, like you guy, you have all those followers. You can wake up and start ranting on some other stuff. Pick on a guy, true or false. Just pick on someone.
Yes.
And go off on them. And then wake up in the morning and say, sorry guys, my account was hacked. But you see, you've already planted a seed in everyone's head about whatever it is you are talking about. Where do we draw the line? That's my question. And I asked.
You were going to say?
He gave an example of Mohoz. He's just announced that his 49th birthday is going to be supervised by the president of Rwanda. He
has made the president of Rwanda a supervisor.
His account was hacked.
By who himself?
Right.
You know would believe that, but he's held a microphone before. We know his account wasn't hacked.
So we had his 48th hula balloon, lots of noise was made. Now he's done 49th, which is going to be supervised by the president
of the Republic of
Rwanda. Should hit 50, we are finished. What he's going to do? Wow.
I think Cyril Ramaphosa is going to supervise his 50 years.
The supervision is being done as an uncle, not as a president.
But he said, my uncle, President Kagame.
He's still a president. So even if he's your uncle, you can't say president. And my uncle Paul.
But then,
Uncle P.
You can't say that. You still have to give him the respect of the title because but he said uncle first.
But still,
my birthday is going to be supervised by the president of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame. No, you see now you're referring to the title. This is referring to an uncle.
Even then, how are you assigning your uncle, no matter who your uncle is, to supervise your birthday?
Supervise your birthday.
Come on.
Supervisor?
Come on.
Doesn't Museveni go to supervise his cows?
He's not sent by his son.
He's sent by the farm manager. He says, wait, the cow is sick, come.
But they're
So if the
his
farm manager
cows.
tweets tomorrow and says, I've sent the president of Uganda to supervise the
He's not
in
supervising.
Chisuzi farm.
He's coming to check on his cows. He's not supervising his cows. And also his son didn't tell him go and supervise the cows.
If they were sick,
And his son tells him go and supervise the cows.
the cows are sick.
He's not going to go and supervise the cows. He's going to go and check on the cows.
So how do we refer to the president of Rwanda now?
Who is we?
Us.
Us as who?
Us as the readers of the tweet.
The nieces and nephews.
The nieces and nephews. So do we say His Excellency?
He's always His Excellency.
I'm coming. Do we say His Excellency, the supervisor of Rwanda?
The supervisor.
The supervisor of 49.
Party. My God.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a wow.
No, I don't think that was right. I agree with you.
It was.
Yeah, it was a bit.
It was a bit hectic. Anyway, so he's turning 49. That's a good age.
Good for him.
Yeah. That's a good age for him, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
Yeah. He's been appointing people. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah.
appointments for the MK army.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah, about 10 appointments.
And I think you're going to get an appointment, Marcus. You.
Who?
Yeah, I'm sure you're getting one.
And I think you'll find out on Twitter. A part of me says that Marcus will find out on Twitter.
You'll be a supervisor.
We will find out together.
Anyway, moving swiftly along.
Speaking of ages, I heard a story of somebody who died. An old person.
Yes, the oldest person in the world right now.
The oldest person in the world.
Yes. A French nun called Lucille Randon. She died last week in her sleep.
How old
She
was
was
she?
118.
Okay, let me tell you why I think that this is entire total hogwash.
Someone died?
No, her being the oldest person.
Okay.
Are your grand folks alive?
No.
Yours?
No.
Even great aunts?
No, I mean...
You have grandaunts and...
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you ask anybody who was born 40 below, no, 30 below, they don't know exactly when they were
When
born.
they were born.
30 below.
It's an African problem.
30 below.
Born in 1930s. Below.
Oh, in 1930s. Mhm.
Well, she was born in France. You said it's an African problem.
Yeah, but the reason why I'm saying this is because the African problem I'm referring to is we never kept records.
Yeah, maybe the French did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am willing to put money that
That
there's
there's
an older
someone
person
older.
in
Okay,
Africa.
okay. Believable. Okay.
That is my stand. It's just
Okay.
that unfortunately there are no records to back my statement.
So let's amend that to the oldest person on record.
On record.
Died.
Yes.
She was.
So you're saying she's not the oldest person?
No, I'm saying like, we have amended to oldest person on record.
Yes.
Okay? But if we are to go into villages in Sudan, Somalia, Ghana, where? There are women there who are 150.
So she was 180.
Having said that,
18, yes.
I think it will be a woman either way because men. Yeah.
You guys, look at how much you're saying on camera.
No. But let's backtrack a little bit here. First of all, to hit 100, you must applaud anybody who hits 100. This woman and those who are perhaps even older in Africa who have not been documented have seen First World War, Second World War. They survived COVID.
Oh, and she's the oldest person again on record to survive COVID.
Oh yeah. Imagine that.
Okay, that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
I also agree with you. I don't think she's the oldest woman in the world. I think there are many
There are
Just
probably a
not-
lot.
just
not documented.
Yeah.
Many who have hit 120, 130.
130.
Yes.
They're just there.
But because this one is in France and because
They watch her every move.
watch every move and
They're
what?
giving her 1 carrot a day
Yes.
to last one extra day.
Bambi. I mean, may she rest in peace.
May she rest well.
But old age is looking more and more appealing. Okay, I hope I don't make it to 80. I hope I die on my 75th birthday. But
Right.
there's I don't want to get to that point where everyone I knew is dead. All of your siblings are dead. All of your friends are dead. You've married people. Then there you start like losing kids, and
Right.
it's not a nice time. So I hope I
When you
die
start
at
burying your
75.
grandchildren.
Such
becomes
issues.
annoying.
Right.
But nonetheless, old age just became a bit more stylish because there's a Nigerian artist who's using AI to reimagine what old age fashion looks like.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Really?
So he did to reimagine what old age fashion looks like. He did this fashion show for
What does that
seniors.
even mean? To reimagine what old age would look like?
You know how when we think of old people,
you would look
we
when
think
you are
of
old.
what they would wear, how they dress.
Right.
Then he did this amazing fashion show. Let me show you. Where these old people are stylish.
Are these young people who have been made old or
Make it
old
bigger.
people?
No.
On full screen.
He used artificial intelligence to create these images. So
these
they're
are-
actually
these are
not real people.
Not real people.
Yeah, he just created the images himself.
This is artificial intelligence. Wow.
And he did this fashion show for seniors.
Wow.
The guy has decided we're going to slay till we die.
Yeah.
Old age looks good with AI.
So he had all of these.
And I see Gaetano dressing like this
Yes.
when he's 84.
But that's drip, eh?
Drip.
The kakala.
Yeah,
what's
learn the language, boss.
But this is whatever. He's dripping.
He's dripped out.
He's dripping. Is that what they say? He's dripping.
He's dripped.
They've dripped. Dripsters.
Stop.
But
This one, even on a young guy, would look nice.
wow.
And then they reimagined what a wheelchair would look
That
like.
is so cool.
Right?
That is
Oh, that's supposed to be a wheelchair.
that
A futuristic.
is so cool.
Wheelchair.
Look at that grandmama, Jaja.
It's just.
Nigerians
I
want
love
to
it.
grow old.
Hey, Marcus. Me and you when we're old guys. I can see
Shall
this.
we be still doing this show?
Stand there.
They'll still be drinking beer, that much is sure.
They'll wheel us in.
I almost didn't make it.
Every day is I almost didn't make it.
They start peeing in Moscow.
But having said that, our older generation, those are our libraries. Those are our storytellers. And they're going. You know where the next
But then
generation...
again, they could also be full
We're the
of
next generation of
nonsense.
storytellers.
We're the next generation of storytellers.
You're saying that those are our libraries. We were not there. They could be telling us nonsense. They could be telling us lies. They could be telling us their version of events. Have you ever considered that?
Yes, I have. And
When
then
you
I'm like,
sit
it's okay
down.
as long as you tell us it's a story.
And then you take nonsense with you.
Yeah, please go with it.
Because I know I'll be
my
telling
version.
a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, but of course,
when it's my turn.
unfortunately now, because of the internet, they can question your BS.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And remember, it's going to be 10 times worse when you're that age.
But then I can
Information
say
access.
the government shut it down. They shut it down. You guys are born in the age of censorship. These things didn't make it to the internet. I'm telling
So
you,
you want to die at the age of
we
what?
had dragons. 75.
75. Marcus, what age you want to die?
I'm not going to jinx it. I'll die when I die.
Okay.
If it were up to
when
you.
the good Lord calls me, we go.
Obviously, yes. But if it were up to you.
All right. Speaking of age and how people look,
Maybe I'm one of the few people who die in fear death.
you don't fear death. Do you fear how you might die? How you might
Yeah,
die?
of course, how maybe, but the actual concept of it,
Yeah. It's okay.
dying is easy. I keep telling people this. Dying is very easy. Living is what's hard.
Living with him is what's hard.
Now, see, this is part of my problem. I have him. Border guys have people around.
Touch your elbow again.
Living is complicated. Dying, once you're dead, finished.
Wait. Talking about age and old people and young people and how old this younger generation, of course, is something else. You've got Miss World coming up very soon, or Miss Universe.
Universe.
Miss
It's
Universe.
recently concluded.
Miss Universe.
Yes.
But and they're having individual country pageants taking place.
Every year, there's an individual country pageant, and then when you guys are done, you send your winners to the Miss Universe pageant.
Okay.
So
Is
the
it
one
Miss
for
World before Miss Universe?
2022 has concluded.
Okay.
So isn't Miss World before Miss Universe?
Miss World and Miss Universe, I don't know the distinction. But I know that the Miss Uganda, Miss South Africa, Miss Nigeria,
So the one of-
it has to happen
So
before
the one of
Miss
2022
Universe.
was concluded to make for Miss Universe 2023, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen the Miss Nigeria?
Ay, she's beautiful.
Nigeria has hard bad.
She's so beautiful. Let me see if I can
Lies.
find her.
Hannah something. Hannah, I forget her second name.
Irogbe or something or the other.
Ba. Marcus.
She looks like a doll. Eh? She's so perfect.
She must be mixed.
She's my sister here in the itty bitty titty committee, but she's still pretty.
In the what?
The small.
Go ahead.
But your breasts are not that small.
Well, we're not going to discuss that.
You're the one who said itty titty bitty
Teeny,
titty.
bitty, bitty.
Of the spectrum.
You said itty titty.
On the spectrum,
Hey, of
I
titties.
would not be on the larger end.
Where would yours
she's,
be?
She's not bad.
Mama.
But she can't be 100%
mama,
Nigerian.
yes.
She is. It's just that she lives in the
Look
States.
at that woman.
She studies in the States. In Dallas, to be exact.
You're a brown guy. Why are you?
Oh, she's stunning. Absolutely stunning. This one I can see her being Miss Universe.
Well, she wasn't, but she did really well.
Well, I can see her being Miss Universe.
When are our Gundis?
Miss Uganda? Oh, actually, the calendar was released as well. It started 9th Jan in Arua. They went to Gulu on the 12th, Fort Portal on the 28th, Masaka on the 27th. Jinja, they'll start on 3rd Feb. And in Kampala, they'll start 8th.
So they're busy getting all of these different
Yes.
districts and regions.
Yes.
When is Kisoro?
Kisoro is not here.
When is Mbarara?
So if you're in Mbara, you come to Fort.
Fort is when?
20th to the 22nd. Has that passed? Yes, it passed last week.
Yeah.
Marcus, why?
And you said Kitgum? I'm looking for places.
Arua, Gulu, Fort Portal, Masaka, Jinja, Kampala. So if you missed all of that, just grab a bus to Kampala.
Kampala.
Can our lovely pearls of Africa compete with?
Yes.
The problem is the hard ones don't compete.
The hard ones are on the last round.
Mama! With the itty titty bitty titty.
On that bombshell.
I'm telling you.
Cheers. But go and compete. Go on.
We shall cheer for you.
Showcase.
We shall come
You can have a butt. You can have booty.
Sure.
I'm tall enough, but I have too
You
much.
can change the perception. Because there's also remember there's looks, then there's so you tick here, you tick image, you tick height. Booty they'll be like we can make one
And then
exception.
you ask Gaetano and Marcus to go on social media and just
Yeah, they
push out.
all the pictures we'll do will be the one just here and above.
Yeah.
Then even if the full one show height only straight.
Yeah.
We don't show.
And your elbow.
Pozi wano gwameka? Bongedde mu bitwano boss.
Chikole for less, hakuna hustle, no stress. Whether night or day tulioke, kubanga tuli ku flexipe.
Don't hustle to pay the bills. Send or receive money. Chikole for less. Neflexi pay. Hold it.
Chikole for less with FlexiPay. Dial *291# to transact or download the FlexiPay app to get started. Stanbic Bank. It can be. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda up to 10 million shillings.